The unprecedented and straight voice of Afghan media was ahead of many countries in the region. It started with the establishment of interim Republic government of Afghanistan nearly 20 years ago. Both the media and access to information laws were unprecedented in the history of Afghanistan. According to the figures of the previous government in 2020, there were 203 TV stations, 366 radio stations, 72 newspapers, 354 weekly magazines, 344 magazines, and 73 news agencies registered with the Ministry of Information and Culture in Afghanistan. There were also some media outlets that were not registered with the named ministry. It shows that Afghanistan has never had such a number of media outlets in its history. In today's world of communication, media is called the fourth pillar of the government. Afghanistan's media and media practitioners have also played a vital role in this field. Besides that, they have played a remarkable role in freedom of speech and dissemination of information. As a result of this contribution, society in Afghanistan witnessed significant economic, political, and social changes. As there were challenges in Afghanistan's new democracy, similarly, there may have been problems in the content of some media as well. However, the achievements of Afghan media and journalists in recognizing human rights and democracy will forever be written in golden lines in the history of Afghanistan. But without a doubt, whatever was achieved in Afghanistan, it wasn't free of cost. Journalists made great sacrifices. Many media practitioners were killed and injured. Some were threatened, and some were forced to leave their homeland. Afghan journalists had faced many challenges in the past 20 years, especially in the last decade. Lack of security, not having enough job security, dependence on foreign aid, threats to journalists by the state and non-state actors, warlords, and not giving information by the authorities were the main challenges of journalists during the past 20 years of Afghanistan. However, this unprecedented 20-year media and journalism development was stopped and closed by the collapse of government and takeover of the Taliban. The freedom of media has been almost completely erased. According to the figures of Reporters Without Borders, RSF, hundreds of media outlets were closed in Afghanistan. Nearly 6,500 journalists lost their jobs, and a large number of them were forced to leave their homeland. In the past 2 years, female journalists have suffered more than anyone else. On the very first day of the rule of the Taliban, they were banned from working on national televisions. They were forced to wear masks while appearing on screen in private media, which may not have been seen in any country in the world nowadays. In the past year, women's voices were banned in many media outlets in provinces. According to the latest numbers, until the fall of the Republic, 2,490 female journalists were working in the media sector, and after the fall of the government, this number dropped to 410 journalists. Now it has been more than 2 years that almost complete restrictions have been imposed on the media and freedom of speech in Afghanistan. The rights of the media and journalists are not respected in any sense. The media is forced to publish content that the rules are pleased with. In such situation, the only hope is those organizations that are trying to protect the rights of Afghan journalists in the international arena. One of these organizations is the Afghanistan Journalist Support Organization, AJSO. We hope, and our only goal is to raise the voice of Afghan journalists both on international stage and inside the country to restore their voice. We are trying to restore and establish media which were established 20 years ago. We hope and struggle for an Afghanistan where independent journalism is not considered as a crime.